Hey there, folks. Picture this. A quiet morning in Willow Creek, a little nowhere town in South Texas, where the air smells like fresh hay and the sun's just creeping over fields of golden sorghum. And I'm sitting on my porch with a chipped mug of coffee, thinking I've finally outrun my past. My name's Sarah Mitchell. Used to be Captain Sarah Mitchell, Army Intelligence, but that was a lifetime ago in years of decoding signals in Iraq, dodging bombs, losing friends to ambushes that still haunt my dreams. I traded all that for this farm, 150 acres of dirt and solitude, just me and my old mutt, Boomer, trying to keep the nightmares buried. But then this black SUV rolls up my dusty driveway, kicking up gravel like it's got something to prove, and out steps Colonel James Carter, all crisp and commanding, like he's still running ops in Fallujah, and I know right then my quiet life's about to get blown to hell. See, I thought I'd left the army behind, but Carter's got that look, the one that says he's carrying bad news, and he's not leaving till I hear it. Sarah, he says, standing at the bottom of my porch steps, his gray eyes sharp as ever. We got a problem, and you're the only one who can fix it. I lean back in my chair, Boomer growling low, and I'm already reading the situation like I used to read insurgent chatter as SUVs got reinforced panels, tinted windows, and his drivers sitting ready for a quick getaway. This ain't a social call. Carter tells me about Victor Kane, goes by the Viper, a former Green Beret gone dirty, running a cartel called the Black Talons that's sinking its claws into Willow Creek. They're not just pushing drugs, they're turning my town into a war zone, buying off judges, threatening cops, and eyeing the kids at Maple Grove Elementary as leverage. They know who you are, Sarah, Carter says, sliding a folder across my table, and they know what you're capable of. I push the folder back, my hands steady but my gut churning. I'm a farmer now, Colonel. I don't do that life anymore. He doesn't flinch, just leans in, voice low. You think you can hide forever? Kane's already got eyes on you. You're on his list, whether you play ball or not. That hits me like a punch. 10 years of keeping my head down, paying cash for this land, staying off the grid, and now some cartel boss thinks he can waltz in and ruin it. I tell Carter I'll think about it. But as his SUV disappears down the road, leaving a cloud of dust hanging like a bad omen, I know I'm already in too deep. That night, I can't sleep. The stars are out, bright as bullet casings, and Boomer's ears are twitching at every sound. I grab my old night vision binoculars from the safe. Yeah, I kept some gear. Old habits die hard, and spot two figures moving along the ridge behind my property. They're pros, keeping low, using hand signals, not some kids messing around. I'm out there in the dark, dressed in black, my grandfather's hunting rifle slung over my shoulder, moving through the brush like I'm back in the desert. I get close enough to hear them whispering into radios. Target's quiet, no movement. They're watching me, building a file, and I realize Kane's not just a threat to the town is coming for me personally, probably because he knows I could unravel his whole operation. Next morning, I head into town, my beat-up pickup rattling along Main Street. Willow Creek's the kind of place where everybody knows your name, but today it feels off. There's a shiny new truck outside Judge Ellen Harper's office, two guys in suits at the diner who don't look like they've ever touched a tractor, and a dude in a sedan watching kids file into Maple Grove Elementary. I stop by Hank's General Store, where Hank's stacking apples, looking jumpy. Sarah, he says, voice low, some fellas came by yesterday, claiming they're from the state, asking about farmers with military backgrounds. Didn't sit right. I nod, keeping it casual, but my pulse is racing. At the diner, I overhear a guy with a slick accent telling Pastor Mike he's offering security services for the church. Sounds more like a shakedown. Then I spot Lisa Reynolds, the elementary school teacher, standing by the playground, her eyes scanning the street like she's waiting for trouble. She pulls me aside, her voice shaky. Sarah, some men were asking about our lockdown drills, said they're with the education board, but I don't buy it. You're ex-military, right? Can you help us? I want to say no, to go back to my farm and pretend none of this is happening. But Lisa's got this look, same one I saw on civilians in Iraq, people caught in a war they didn't sign up for. I'll see what I can do, I tell her, and just like that, I'm not just a farmer anymore. Back home, I dig through Carter's folder satellite photos of Kane's base in Red Hawk Canyon, a natural fortress 20 miles out, with high walls and armed guards. It's a setup that'd make any SWAT team sweat. My phone buzzes. Burner phone. Carter left memed it's his aide, Major Tom Reed, saying Judge Harper's dead, ruled a suicide. But we both know that's bull. Kane's tying up loose ends, and he's moving fast. I meet Reed at an old feed mill off Route 12, a crumbling relic where nobody'd think to look. He's all business, unloading gear, encrypted radios, night vision goggles, a suppressed rifle that feels like an old friend. Kane's planning a big move tonight, Reed says, showing me real-time satellite feeds. He's hitting every thread in town at once: sheriff, pastor, school board, you name it. I'm staring at images of Kane's compound, counting 30 guys with military gear, and it hits me. This isn't a cartel, it's an army. Reed introduces me to Eddie Torres, a defector from Kane's crew, who looks like he hasn't slept in months. Eddie's Kane's old buddy from the Green Berets, turned against him after Kane ordered a family killed: mom, dad, 2 kids for refusing to play ball. He's a monster, Sarah, Eddie says, showing me a photo of a little girl he saved. And he's got this town mapped out like a battlefield. Eddie sketches Kane's setup: 3-unit security run by ex-Ranger Nate Frost Carter, logistics by a former Marine named Carla Vega, and Kane himself handling the money, laundering it through local businesses. They're planning a town meeting at St. Paul's Church to play nice, but it's a trap to spot anyone who pushes back. I'm already thinking 3 steps ahead. Kane's expecting cops or feds, not a lone farmer who knows his tricks. I recruit Hank, Lisa, and an old Vietnam vet named Joe Baxter, who's got a ranch next to mine and eyes sharp as a hawk. Joe's been watching Kane's men set up at an abandoned dairy farm nearby, and he's itching to fight. Ain't survived key, sent to let some punk take my home. He growls, and I know he's in. The church meeting's a powder keg. Kane's there, all charm and lies, promising community safety, while his goons watch the crowd like vultures. Lisa stands up, calls him out on his fake credentials, and I see Frost mark her on his phone. Bad move. That night, Kane's men hit hard. They grab Pastor Mike, rough up Sheriff Dan Carter's deputy, and take the Henderson family: mom, dad, 2 kids as hostages. I'm back at my farm, planning with Joe and Eddie, when Reed calls. Kane's moving on the school. Midnight. They're taking kids as leverage. That's the line I won't let them cross. I grab my gear, kiss Boomer's head, and head for Red Hawk Canyon, knowing this is the fight I've been running from my whole life. It's 11:30 p.m., and I'm perched on a ridge overlooking Kane's base, a fortress lit up like a war zone. Through my scope, I see guards, armored trucks, and a command center buzzing with radios. Kane's there, barking orders to Frost, who's checking maps like they're planning D-Day. I'm 1 woman against 30, but I've got surprise on my side. Reed's voice crackles in my ear. Sarah, they're loading hostages into a shed. You've got 10 minutes before the convoy hits the school. I slip down the canyon, moving like a ghost, cutting through a fence with tools Reed gave me. The detention shed's guarded by 2 guys pros, but sloppy, too focused on the road. I take them out quietly, suppressed pistol, no fuss. Inside, I find the Hendersons and 8 others, zip-tied, scared out of their minds. I'm Sarah, I whisper, cutting them free. Stay low, follow my markers, Joe's waiting to get you out. I'm halfway to the comm center when I hear Kane's convoy roll out 4 SUVs, headed for the school. I plant charges on their radio tower, set to blow in 5 minutes, then sabotage their gate locks to trap any backup. Back at the school, Sheriff Dan's on the radio, voice steady. Kane, you got no authority here. Back off. Kane's snarling back. You're obstructing federal business, Sheriff. That's a one-way ticket to jail. Lisa chimes in, cool as ice. You want to talk? Make an appointment. These kids are off limits. I'm 8 miles out, scope locked on Kane, finger on the trigger. It's a long shot, but I've made tougher. Just as I'm about to fire, his men start pulling back. Lisa's defiance, Dan's backbone, and my sabotage have them spooked. They know they're exposed. The charges blow, and Kane's base lights up in chaos. Guards scrambling, radio's dead. Reed confirms the hostages are safe, and satellite feeds show Kane's convoy hightailing it for Mexico. They're done, at least for now. I hike back to my truck, the weight of it all settling in. I didn't want this fight, but those kids, this town theory worth it. 3 days later, I'm back on my porch, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise. Sheriff Dan stops by, says real feds are cleaning up Kane's mess, found enough evidence to bury his operation for good. Joe and Lisa swing by too, bringing half the town to say thanks. I wave it off. Y'all stood up when it counted. That's what saved us. But as they leave, and Boomer's snoring beside me, I know something's changed. I thought I could hide from who I am, a soldier, a protector, but Willow Creek showed me that some fights find you, no matter how far you run. The stars are out again, same as always, and I'm wondering if peace is something you earn, not something you keep. What do y'all think? Was I right to step back into that life, or should I have stayed out of it? Drop a comment. Share your take. I am curious to hear how you'd handle a threat like that in your own backyard. And if you like this story, hit that subscribe button, because we've got more coming that'll keep you glued to your screen.